If the title of this video is not obvious enough, this video contains spoilers. Okay, thank you. Finally, we get to play the newest Archon quest, Flowers Resplendent on the Sun-Scorched Sojourn. A lot of our theories were proven correct in the Archon quest. Some are proven false, some are half right, and there are some left yet to be answered. In any case, we have a lot of things happening in Natlan, and of course, your boy here is excited to talk about them. There are multiple Pyro Archons. MAVUIKA is FURINA 2.0. Capitano is someone from Natlan. There are multiple Celestial Nails in Natlan. Sidlali already has a crucial role despite not having a screen time. And the original Pyro Archon is a guy. As always, since we are inserting lore and theory crafting, if you're a listener, this sound effect will help you when we change sections. Also, here's some disclaimer. Don't forget that half of this video will be all about theories based on what we know so far. It's also worth noting if I mention anything that is related to real life history, they're simply references and don't represent the actual in-game product. Theories are meant to be speculative, so don't take them seriously and take them with a huge grain of salt. Secondly, this is a leak-free zone. Please don't comment anything about leaked content, they're not yet confirmed, and I would personally refrain myself from using leaks for my lore recap and theory crafting. My traveler of choice is Ether, so I'll be referring to the traveler as he in this video. Also, I'm making this video and have not done the world quest or the travel chronicles, so if I miss something out in the theory section, you can always let me know. Before we start, don't forget to give this video a like and comment so the channel can be noticed by the algorithm. I'm juggling my time as a college student, an artist, and video editing, so a little bit of boost will help this channel a lot, and that lets me know that I'm doing a good job. My name is Genshin and I make lore and commentary videos on this channel to keep you company. The quest starts with us parting from our maritime harbor and continuing our journey to Natlan. Navia, Charlotte, Clorant, and FURINA meet with us for the last time and say our bon voyage to the traveler and Paimon. FURINA and Navia assures us that despite never seeing people from Natlan in other nations, they are very welcoming to outsiders, so we have nothing to be afraid of. I just want to say, having FURINA sees us off feels so satisfying and bittersweet at the same time because this girl has been through so much and ends up being the happiest person we ever see so far. We were greeted by FURINA and we also depart with FURINA. Girly pop, please have a wonderful life from now on. You can technically teleport instantly to Natlan, but for the sake of drama for myself, I traveled from Desert of Hadramfeth to Natlan by foot. It's definitely an interesting transition the moment you set foot into the cave that separates the nations and there's no BGM the moment you set foot to Natlan. Natlan is divided with waters after you cross through the desert. If you look at Natlan from King Dashret's mausoleum, Natlan is divided by the sea and we can see two mountains. One seems to be a volcano while the other could potentially be Marijivari. Sorry for the small little theory, I just can't help myself. We finally reached Natlan, and with that, the first act of the Archon quest starts. Flowers resplendent on the sun-scorched sojourn. We met with our little Tepetlisaurus buddy. Technically, this is a world quest, but this quest is almost hard to avoid, so we are forced to do the beginning of it while we do our Archon quest, and you can always do them later after that. We saved it from abyssal monsters, and you can name it with anything you like. I named him Terra, and he guided us to the exit. I'll make sure to make videos about our little buddy in my next video. We then enter Children of Echoes, meeting with Kachina, who had an argument with her teammates regarding the pilgrimage that is about to happen in Natlan. Her teammates left her because she never won any pilgrimage, making Kachina have to go solo. Kachina explains that the pilgrimage is to appoint the winners to head to the battlefield to face the Abyss, also known as Night Warden Wars. Now we know the reason why they are called the Nation of War, and that's because of their continuous battle against the invasion of the Abyss. So yeah, that's an oopsie on my last video. Despite the dreadful reward for the winners, it is the greatest honor and glory to the people of Natlan. While the traveler and Paimon wanted to save the day and join Kachina, she declined their offer because only people from Natlan could attend the pilgrimage. But in exchange, Kachina offered to be Traveler and Paimon's Natlan guide in exchange for training. After that, we headed to the Stadium of the Sacred Flame for Kachina's registration. Along the way, we see our little Saurian companion play with Kachina Saurian. So yeah, at least the world quest at the beginning is still connected after all. We also learned that Kachina has an ancient name, that being Uthabiti, meaning resilience. I actually talked about ancient names in my last video, but that was a theory. The game's explanation kinda make it too long, so I'll keep it brief and short. Ancient names can be said as labels that pass throughout generations. By having an ancient name, the bearers can remind themselves of epic stories from their past predecessors. These ancient names are bestowed by each tribe's way up, essentially godlike entities of Natlan that reside in the Night Kingdom, which is a mysterious realm with liminal space between body and mind, life and death, and ancient names are bestowed by the Way Ups in the form of feather-shaped obsidian. The game assures you that Way Up is not a god, so be sure to not get yourself mixed up. Once the successors are appointed, their ancient names are theirs to bear, and their stories are persevered within them. As time passes, more stories are persevered within, making them more profound and valuable. Ancient names do not make you powerful, but they are a source of inspiration for the next generation. Long story short, they are only your cheerleaders, and whatever you do is still yours to accomplish. We then visit the Statue of the Seven to get our elemental power, only for us unable to gain the power of Pyro. The reason for this is still unknown, but Kachina says it might be because Natlan's current Archon is a human. So yes, from the get-go, MAVUIKA is FURINA 2.0. The only difference is that MAVUIKA is officially the Archon, while FURINA plays the role of the Archon. So despite their similarities, their conditions are different, and MAVUIKA is not a fraud. Anyways, Kachina also tells us that MAVUIKA is one of the many Pyro Archons in the past, and judging from her words, all of them are humans. The pilgrimage is also how the people of Natlan appoint their next Archon, and apparently, MAVUIKA is the strongest Archon that they got so far, and these tribe elders have never seen anyone like MAVUIKA before. Anyways, we reached the stadium where Kinich and Mualani awaited us. Knowing Kachina's predicament, Mualani decides to join Kachina in the pilgrimage. Still trying to get the traveler to join the pilgrimage, he is denied by the committee immediately because he is not from Natlan. And there is a very solid reason as to why only people of Natlan can participate. The first reason is the contending fire. We learned from the trailer that the contending fire is needed to fuel the sacred fire, and apparently only people from Natlan can produce this fire by having a battle against each other. The game also tells us the reason outsiders can't enter the pilgrimage is because of the Night Warden Wars, where the victors will have to fight the Abyss, which yeah, makes sense. Imagine you won a hard-earned battle only for your prize to battle against demons. This is unacceptable. I paid money to enter this and I don't get the prize money. I want a refund for my registration fee. But there's also one important thing why the pilgrimage is off limits to the outsiders.
The rules of war are woven in the womb. The victors shall burn bright, while the losers must turn to ash.
That's right. Dainsleif's words hold a very significant and crucial meaning. The Oath of Resurrection. First of all, the pilgrimage only sends victors with ancient names, and those without won't be sent to the Night Warden Wars for their protection. Why? Because the oath only works on people with ancient names. The second thing that needs to meet the criteria is you have to achieve victory in order to be revived. Defeat not only beats real death, but destruction of your ancient name, preventing it from being revived. Since the pilgrimage sends multiple victors, this means that the team has to achieve victory in order for the fallen heroes of the team to be resurrected. Otherwise, it's a real death to all of them. The first round is a sporting plus battle competition, which is easy, no bueno for Mualani and Kachina. There's two pathetic losers who were salty that Kachina won and threatened Kachina, but things were dealt with the traveler's help. What's wrong? Little babies need to get their mama to watch for victory. Aww, gaga. Kachina won each battle on her own. There might be some injuries, but Kachina managed to get to the finals. Unfortunately, her final battle is against Mualani. I'll just show you the footage because their battle is awesome. The voice acting is in Korean, so deal with it.
마지막 경기만을 남겨놓은 지금 이 경기로 최후의 출전자가 결정됩니다. 첫 선수는 자신의 역대 최고 성적을 경신한 메아리아의 대표 카치나! 그리고 그 상대는 어린 나이에 이미 수많은 영광을 쟁취한 샘물무리의 용사 말라니! 친구 사이에 얼마나 뜨거운 결투가 펼쳐질지 함께 지켜보시죠!
여기까지 왔는데 아직도 떨려? 상대가 너니까 그렇지. 그래도 너라서 다행이야. 지더라도 미련은 없을 테니까.
무슨 소리야? 카치나, 지금은 양보할 때가 아니야. 나보다 더 승리를 원하잖아. 그렇다면 큰 소리로 외치라고.
이기고 싶어. 말라니, 이번엔 꼭 이길 거야. 미안해, 말라니. 진짜 미안해. 내가 너무 세게 때렸지.
승자는 바로 메아리아의 카치나!
I cried watching that because Katina won. Girl, you did so well. You deserved it. With that, we have 5 winners. 2 random NPCs, Chaska, Yansan, and of course, Katina. With them being the victors, they are now taking part in the Night Warden Wars, where they will battle against the Abyss. In the meantime, Mwalani invited us to take around and visit her tribe. People of the Springs with Kinich came in second, also inviting us to visit Science of the Canopy when we had time. If you ask me, I would be lying if I say I prefer Mwalani because I prefer to go with Kinich first. His design is so cool and whispers, "You know you want me." Listen, okay, I'm not cheating. I'll hate them remains to be number 1, okay? Just because I appreciate other characters and find them attractive doesn't mean I cheat on my one and only. I'll hate them, okay? Sorry, I was simping again. Anyways, we then visit Mwalani's tribe where we met Atea, Mwalani's friend who suffered from a long-time abyss injury, causing her body to subject to abyssal corrosion and unable to enjoy hot springs again. However, during Mwalani's absence because of the pilgrimage, the tribe's people recently noticed Atea entering a hidden hot spring, assuming that Atea's condition is getting better. Because of this, the tribe's people designed a plan to surprise Atea by decorating that hidden hot spring. After the Traveler and Paimon enjoyed their time in the hot springs and wore a new outfit, Traveler and Paimon offered to help Mwalani and the tribe's people to surprise Atea. Because they're finished late at night, the surprise waits until tomorrow. The Traveler and Paimon rests in the inn, only for the tribe to be attacked by the Abyss in midnight. In order to stop the monsters from continuously invading, they need to find an Abyssal Pylon, a gate that allows the Abyssal monsters to enter Natlan from the Night Kingdom. So, we do just that. We destroy the first pylon and head to the next one, which coincidentally is in the hidden hot spring. We found Atea in there, badly injured because she destroyed the pylon on her own like a chat, but the abyssal corrosion inside her goes haywire and accelerates. Atea won't make it until help comes. But then, Blood Armor appears. The Traveler helps Atea by... Oh my god, they actually remember the Traveler has this power? Sir, you could have saved Kole only if you remember this. Why you just remember this now? We could even save that fungi in the chasm. And we don't even need the stone if we can just purify everything. Anyways, Well, at least he remember, okay? The travelers saved Atea's life by purifying the abyssal corrosion inside her. While Atea's life is saved, the abyssal corrosion has ingrained inside her for a very long time, thus only delaying her symptoms. The reason she go to the hidden hot spring is not because she is getting better, but because her condition has gone even worse, which Atea explained to us all of this the next day, at the night of the celebration. She went to the hot springs because she knew she doesn't have a lot of time left and wants to enjoy the hot springs as much as she can before she die. She left Mualani with a message to protect the tribe and unite them, which Mualani take on the message for Atea's sake. Atea then left the traveler and Mualani with her talisman of good luck and asked us to give it to MAVUIKA when we met her. She told us to tell MAVUIKA embodies fond memories and my strength of will. We then return to the party to enjoy our night, and at the end, she says to Mualani, "Life is a journey in which there's no turning back, so forge ahead and don't hold back." With that being said, this is where the first act of Natlan's Archon quest ends. The second Archon quest starts with Mualani inviting us to go fishing, but then interrupted by stadium representative Tonina. The party left for the night where the wars achieved victory, but Kachina fell during the battle, so Tonina told us to take part in the Oath of Resurrection. Before we officially start the quest, Mualani out of nowhere gives us some lore bomb about the Abyss. She told us about how cunning the Abyss are. Despite their somewhat obvious look of only wanting destruction, they are a lot more clever and intelligent than people might have thought, especially that the Abyss is not a living entity. During the Cataclysm, while Khaenri'ah suffered greatly from the abyssal attacks, so is Teyvat, and Natlan takes the worst toll of them all. It took combined efforts from all heroes of Natlan and Empire Archon to repel the Abyss, only for the effects of the invasion lingered for years to come, and the effects can only be reversed little at a time. Each tribe has their own set of issues, such as contaminated water in People of the Springs, dark sludge contaminating Children of Echoes underground, and dark gusts of wind invading the lands of Loudfeather clan. So yes, the Abyss somewhat designed their plague very specifically for each tribe. Mualani then continues that she believes the Abyss has invaded the Night Kingdom, and because of this, she believes that the Abyss can read memories of Natlan at any given moment. It's pretty much the reason why they can't get rid of the Abyss completely after all these years. But thankfully, all the previous Pyro Archons have successfully addressed most of the issues that Natlan faced, making the land more prosperous than it was before. Mualani believed that one day, they will stop the Abyss. The day where they can finally stop fighting will arrive soon. Mualani and the traveler head to the stadium, holding off their fishing trip. With that being said, the second Archon quest officially starts. Black stone under a white stone. We arrived at the stadium, meeting Kinich the moment we arrived. In the center of the stadium, Chaska, Yansan, and two random NPCs are standing as they did not fall from their battle. Since Kachina fell during the war, the Ode of Resurrection starts with everyone singing the Ode, or in other words, Natlan's theme. I'm smoking again. However, the unexpected has happened. MAVUIKA could not find Kachina nor her ancient name in the Night Kingdom. The resurrection has failed, causing commotion in the stadium. These two foes still can't get over their defeat and accuse the team to have been defeated from the war. Of course, this is not true, and these two are just being childish losers because they can't gain their glory. They even have the audacity to question the Queen MAVUIKA. This causes Mualani to understandably angry as these two challenge her for a duel, to see who really deserved their glory. Bro, grow up! Both of you were defeated by a child. This makes both of you look even more pathetic than you already are. Because of the fear of having this happen again and causing more casualties, MAVUIKA decides to stop the pilgrimage for now and prevent Mualani's duel. Not only that, MAVUIKA called these losers up for not believing the truth for the sake of proving themselves, causing these two grown-up looking kids to get scared and chickened out when she questions their reasoning. Honestly, I wish MAVUIKA could whip them more, but this'll do. With that being said, MAVUIKA invited Mualani and the traveler to join the investigation, with Kinich, Yansan, and Chaska tagging along. In the speaker's chamber, MAVUIKA assures everyone that Kachina is a hero, and the reason the oath failed is because there's a ruckus in the Night Kingdom, causing MAVUIKA unable to find Kachina. Until the problem in the Night Kingdom is resolved, the Oath of Resurrection will continue to remain ineffective. MAVUIKA also reveals that the Abyss has devised another plan, and that is to target the Sacred Fire. By holding Kachina hostage, this will shake the people of Natlan's faith in the Archon because the Oath will not work despite them achieving victory. Then why don't MAVUIKA just hold the pilgrimage to fuel the Sacred Fire, and not send anyone to fight the Abyss in the meantime? The contending fire is still needed after all. That's because the pilgrimage will lose its meaning, and the number of contestants will only decrease because they won't gain the glory that they were promised. The best way to do this is to find Kachina's ancient name by using a device created by Citlali, the Spirit Speaker Stone, and currently is in the hands of Science of Canopy's tribe chief, Wayna. Once we find the ancient name, MAVUIKA will then help us to locate Kachina in the Night Kingdom, and we have to go there directly. Walani then gives the talisman that Atea gave her to MAVUIKA as she immediately understands the meaning of the talisman and the message Atea left. After MAVUIKA's short pleasantries with the Traveler and Paimon and her surprise after knowing how other nations treat the Traveler without any hospitality, the Traveler and the gang left the chamber with Kinich and Iansan remaining. MAVUIKA reveals further to Kinich and Iansan the reason she decides to hold the pilgrimage is not because of what she just told us, but because the amount of contending fire is still far from enough. The gradual corrosion caused by the Abyss has resulted in a massive shortage of pyro energy, and Natlan has finally reached the breaking point. Sending people to face the Abyss with the current situation will only cause more casualties, and MAVUIKA decides to hide the secret a bit longer from the general public in order to not cause panic. Even if they hold the pilgrimage, the Sacred Fire will eventually die anyway very soon. In order for them to stand a chance against their mortal enemy, they have to reserve as much manpower as possible. As for the Sacred Fire, in order to keep them burning, MAVUIKA decides to sacrifice her Archon power in order to keep it burning a little bit longer. But then...
프레시님, 후인단입니다. 과연 나타의 신이로군. 명성에 걸맞은 힘이다. 짐에게 비밀은 알고 있다. 운명은 오래전부터 파멸을 가리키고 있었지. 허나 500년 전의 약속은 여전히 이루어지지 않았으니 그대에게 신의 심장이 있었들 무슨 소용인가?
무슨 말인지 모르겠지만 여기 온 게 얼음 여왕 때문만은 아닌 것 같네.
위기가 도래할 때 누군가는 구원의 의무를 다해야 하는 법. 너의 계획은 진전이 없으니 내가 나타의 새로운 규칙을 세우겠다. 단, 신생을 위해서는 파멸이 우선이겠지.
길게 대화할 생각은 없나 보군. 뭐 우리 같은 사람한텐 이쪽 대화가 더 빠르지. 어서 카피타노와 그 부하들을 찾아내라.
After their battle, MAVUIKA sends Kinich to talk to Citlali to find the person that aided Capitano. After Kinich leaves, MAVUIKA sacrifices her power to the sacred fire, losing her Archon power in the process. In the meantime, the traveler, Chaska, Moalani, and Paimon leave to Science of the Canopy and talk to Weina, who gave the stone right away after they explain the current situation. He then tells us to find Fichama because he can use the stone to find Kachina's ancient name, which he immediately agrees to help under one condition. He wants to use the stone to find his friend's ancient name as well, Malko, a friend of Fichama that fell on the hands of the Abyss 5 years ago, which the traveler and the gang accepted his proposal. After getting the materials needed, we met Fichama at higher grounds far from people to try and get Kachina's ancient name. We help him fight the Abyss away and we save Kachina's ancient name, but are unable to find Malko's. Because the Spirit Speaker stone is going out of control, Chaska decides to destroy the stone. Despite their failure, Malko's memory then plays on everyone's head as this gives Fichama an ease in his mind. As we head back to Science of the Canopy, Chaska and her sister Quichi have a sister argument because Chaska decides to leave the Night Kingdom, causing Quichi to worry sick of her sister. After its resolution, we give the stone to Weina and explain the situation, which he understands very well. The gang leaves the tribe and heads back to MAVUIKA in Speaker's chamber. As we head back, MAVUIKA updates her situation earlier when she faced Capitano and sacrifices her power for the sacred fire. She tells everyone to keep it a secret and invites everyone to her memento room, where she will prepare the necessary things to find Kachina with her ancient name. In the meantime, MAVUIKA tells us to look around and we learn a lot of things in her room are mementos left by the heroes of Natlan, including Atea's talisman, and also the talking stick. I am pleasantly pleased. After all that, she tells us to place Kachina's ancient name in the center and talk to Kachina from there. She is scared and constantly being haunted by the Abyss, but she was able to tell us that the Way Up was able to save her from the Abyss with the Way Up's power starting to weaken even more. As the connection cuts off, MAVUIKA tells us to go to the Night Kingdom and she will observe the situation from her room. With that being said, we leave the room and head our journey to the Night Kingdom, which is beneath Natlan's underground where ancient dragon devices were left and start to activate again. As they reach the Night Kingdom, in order for them to escape later, according to Chaska, they have to offer a prayer under the light they enter in. After Chaska told that, they met Malko's soul, who actually took an imperfect shape because of Ichama's attempt to find his ancient name earlier. Anyways, with the Abyss trying to attack the gang, Malko protects and guides them to Kachina, which we rescue shortly. Kachina requested us to rescue the Way Up, who at this point is already too corrupted. We learned that in the Night Kingdom, there are 6 totems that represent the Way Up, with all of them already contaminated by the Abyss. It's better to save one than none at all, so they decide to save the Children of Echo's Way Up with Malko's soul left behind to stall the Abyss away. The moment the Traveler and Co arrive to help the Way Up is already too corrupted at this point, that they can't even hear us. Their connection is already cut off, and until we purify them, they are unable to help or connect to the people of Natlan. An Abyss Lector suddenly appeared in front of us. As the Lector attacks us, we defeat them with the power of friendship, leaving the Lector so dumbfounded. With Moalani's help and preaching the power of friendship, her ancient name glows, with Tupac appearing in front of her. Just for context, Tupac is one of the heroes who fight alongside Tenoch during their huge battle against the Abyss around the time of the Cataclysm, according to the talking stick. With Moalani's power to unite the gang and her preaching of unity, Moalani's ancient name, Umoja, meaning unity, awakens her, granting her the full aspirations of the Way Up. With that being said, Moalani has gained the memories of the past heroes and knows everything that happened in the old days of Natlan. Tupac's last words for Moalani is to unite people of Natlan to save their nation from their impending doom. Honestly, that sounds so ironic considering in his age, Tenoch is the one who united the heroes of Natlan's tribe back then to fight the Abyss, but what do I know? The gang purifies the Way Up. As they are about to leave, the Way Up gives Kachina her message to always be herself. While she gained an ancient name, she shouldn't let that ancient name to be someone that doesn't define her. Kachina is already someone worthy of her ancient name, and she only needs to be someone that is better version of Kachina. After Moalani thanks the Way Up for encouraging her best friend, the Abyss starts to hunt them down. This time, they show no mercy. Asili opens the way for the gang as they run towards the exit. I just have to say, the music here went really hard and they really made my adrenaline run like wildfire when I played this part. Anyways, the gang runs quickly from the abyss attack.
다들 잘해줬어. 이제 돌아와.
First of all, I just want to point out that the Traveler changed his sword, and secondly, MAVUIKA is so cool in this cutscene. Ah, Queen! There's also another fun little detail in this cutscene, but I'll tell you later, so stay tuned. We head back to the stadium with Koichi treating our abyssal contamination. Thankfully, it's not permanent, so everyone will be back to normal eventually. Something interesting that Koichi mentioned is that the Traveler is immune to the abyss, and so is Paimon. The moment Koichi leaves, MAVUIKA reveals her plan. Natlan only has less than a year until its impending destruction. This has affected Natlan since 500 years ago, and the people back then had already concluded of this inevitable disaster. Unlike other nations with stable ley lines, Natlan doesn't have any of that, causing the nation to be affected the worst. It took centuries, countless lives, and sacrifice that the people of Natlan have reached the current peace that they have today. But all of this is just superficial victory, and all they do is just push the abyss to the underground, essentially delaying their attacks. The Night Kingdom essentially works as Natlan's ley lines, and the people of Natlan have already calculated that it might take around 500 years for the abyss to triumph against the Night Kingdom, and that has already proven to be true with our recent events. This was calculated because Natlan was a nation of destitute, and everyone already gave up on the thoughts of victory. If Natlan had not united back then, it's foolish to even think about winning. But thankfully, the Archon back then has united the nation and devised a 500-year-old plan. Mualani mentioned that she knew about this plan because of the new memory she gained not too long ago in the Night Kingdom. But what she doesn't understand is, MAVUIKA was present 500 years ago. So what happened? Isn't she a human? Well, she is. There's only two ways for humans in Teyvat to have very long lifespan, either bestowed by divine power or subjecting themselves to a curse like FURINA did. However, there's no such thing as gods in Natlan, as mentioned by Kachina during the first act, and unlike FURINA, MAVUIKA is not cursed, and the people of Natlan can only depend on their own methods. So, MAVUIKA 500 years ago threw herself to the sacred fire as she woke up again to the present day. So essentially, she committed suicide to be reborn from the sacred fire 500 years later. Because of their calculation, MAVUIKA's plan was to unite people of Natlan after their war 500 years ago, as the Pyre Archons of old helped to reunite these decimated tribes. Once the tribe was back to its full strength, each tribe's way up would choose a hero, indicating that they are ready for battle once again to act as a line of defense with MAVUIKA when they face the abyss, and it so happens that Mualani is one of them. All the heroes were supposedly awakened after MAVUIKA woke up, but something happened in the middle. The old heroes of Natlan have their ancient names passed to the successor, but not the plan. It definitely came from the deterioration of the Night Kingdom, as the waves connection were cut off from the sacred fire, indicating that the deterioration have already done earlier before MAVUIKA's awakening. In order for the information to pass on, MAVUIKA's presence is not enough, and the ancient name bearers have to establish greater connection to their names. So far, far, Shilonen of Children of Echoes, Kinich of Science of the Canopy, and Iansan of Collective of Plenty have understood the meaning of their name and have become the hero, with Molani of People of the Springs came in very recently. We are less in two heroes, Masters of the Night Winds and Flower Feather Clan. Until all the heroes have understood the meaning of their name, MAVUIKA cannot proceed with the plan. But why don't MAVUIKA just tell them who the heroes are? She knew Molani was part of the plan, so why she did not do just that? That's the thing, she is afraid that their potential will only awaken a lot slower than she expected because it's more to do with obligation than will. With that being said, MAVUIKA does not tell everyone who the remaining two heroes are, and she also believes that she cannot face the abyss alone, but she needs everyone else's help. It's also the reason why MAVUIKA's memento room the moment we entered was empty. It's worth mentioning that MAVUIKA we saw in the cutscene earlier was not the real MAVUIKA, but her consciousness. In order to save the Traveler and the gang from saving Kachina in the Night Kingdom, she devised a contingency plan to save them by burning all of the mementos as fuel. All of the items not only carry stories, but also carry a significant amount of contending fire from being carried in the battle by the heroes of their past owners. With enough items, MAVUIKA is able to activate the contending fire to open boundaries between two worlds, but the power instantly vanishes after that. It is a crude approach, but to MAVUIKA, this is the time for her to use it, especially that it's the way to save Kachina and helping Molani to understand her name. Thankfully, because of the gang saving the way up in the Night Kingdom, the realm is able to hold on a little bit longer, otherwise the Abyss would have completely taken over the Night Kingdom and Children of Echoes would have faced terrible disaster. The heroes who contributed the item have already known it is for the survival of their nation anyway, so it wouldn't be a loss for the owners as it is to save their present-day heroes. With that said, MAVUIKA tells everyone to enjoy the victory feast from their victory in the Night Warden Wars, and she will join them soon. MAVUIKA enters the state of meditation as she meets other heroes from the past and also her own family. Not gonna lie, I am disappointed that Tenoch is not what I expected because he is described to have many scars. But again, it is what it is. Everyone tells MAVUIKA that Natlan will not fight alone and have to face the battle together. That is Natlan's fire, the lifeblood of their nation. Everyone enjoys their victory feast, with the Traveler asks MAVUIKA how convoluted her plan is. Why didn't she just bring the past heroes with her? Simply because the heroes have their own lives to fulfill. It's not within her right to tell them how to live their life, and she believes that the plan will still work without them anyway, or even without her. But since MAVUIKA is the one who devised the plan, MAVUIKA feels duty-bound to see how it goes until the very end. It's also worth noting that despite the Traveler pointing out how fate is predetermined, especially from their past experiences, MAVUIKA still held on hope that they had a chance in their war against the Abyss. Because the tradition of the Traveler has to be the errand boy, MAVUIKA of course asks the Traveler to join them in the war, which the Traveler agrees to. In exchange, MAVUIKA will ask Shilonen to forge a new ancient name for the Traveler, as their deeds will be remembered for the people of Natlan generations to come. With that, the second act of the Archon quest ends. And I have to say, MAVUIKA is officially my favorite Archon now. We have a small epilogue of Capitano receiving an intel. A Fatui Gun tells him that MAVUIKA has lost her power, but Capitano honored his battle as he will not attack MAVUIKA during her time of weakness. Capitano thanked the mysterious man for helping him earlier, and they will work together again in the future. Capitano then pans to us and asks the mysterious man if he hears something from here. We have a chance to talk to MAVUIKA after that. The first two dialogues are things we already know, so I'll keep them brief. Capitano's whereabouts are still unknown, and there's no more move from his side, but Kinich was able to confirm MAVUIKA that the person behind Captain's escape was someone from Masters of the Night Wind. MAVUIKA already narrowed down the person who aided the captain, although she asks for help if we happen to find out the person behind it during our adventures in Natlan. MAVUIKA also tells us that the elemental energies are the only thing that can beat the Abyss, and has always been the case in every nation we visited since ancient times. Very few people know the reason why, and suggest the Traveler to ask someone that is older than the Power Archon to find the answer. Finally, the $1 million question. Why have we never seen anyone from Natlan in other nations? That's because of the long-standing effects of the Abyss. People of Natlan's lives are inextricably tied to their way up, and way up's powers are limited as they cannot offer the same protection to the people of Natlan outside of their borders. People who left have suffered mental issues and forgotten memories. That is why people of Natlan cannot leave and understand the concept behind it. Even if they want to leave, they have to ask their corresponding tribe chief to gain approval from their way up. And even so, it's more than likely you'll be declined anyway because they need to reserve power to fight the Abyss. Still, the way up will protect the people of Natlan as long they're inside the borders, and this includes outsiders as well. With that said, this is where the overall Archon quest of Natlan officially ends. For now. I have to say, this is a really nice Archon quest, although I can't lie, I expect more from it. However, I still enjoyed it, and it is very easy to understand the whole story. To summarize everything, we learned that each tribe has their own set of way up. MAVUIKA is still a human, but the reason she survived 500 years is that she threw her life in the sacred fire to be reborn 500 years later. The sacred fire is the absolute defense of Natlan. MAVUIKA devised the 500-year-old plan, and the only thing that we knew about the plan so far is that she needs the current heroes of Natlan to know the full meaning of their ancient name to awaken the power within them. So far we have 4 heroes, that being Shilonen of Children of Echoes, Walani of People of the Springs, Kinich of Science of the Canopy, and Iansan of Collective of Plenty, with only 2 heroes remain from Cloud Feather Clan and Masters of the Night Winds. Until all the heroes are awakened from their name, MAVUIKA cannot proceed with the plan and waits for other heroes to awaken. But to me, I think MAVUIKA is not telling the whole story yet. At least she is not telling everyone the full story of her plan, which now comes to us getting delusional for the next few minutes. Not gonna lie, I don't have a lot of theories at the moment because a lot of my theories were already confirmed and debunked, but I do have a few that might blow your mind away. Since I am making this video without doing the world quest just yet and trying to catch the algorithm for the channel, I'll be making a follow-up video for my theories about Natlan after I read all the source materials provided by the game. For now, here are my theories that I gained from doing the Archon quest and some materials that I found from Genshin Wiki. First of all, the obvious, the person who aided Capitano is none other than Auron of Masters of the Night Winds. I think they really can't hide that any longer, especially that they already revealed Auron's voice actors in their social media handles. Well, that's the obvious, here are some of the not obvious parts. I speculate that in my previous video, Capitano might either be Bloodstained Knight, an exile, or a Dragon Sovereign. From Capitano's words during his battle against MAVUIKA, I believe that Capitano is an exile because he knew MAVUIKA's plan, have the audacity to criticize her whether she even used her gnosis or not, and even called her out since her plan had reached an impasse, possibly referring to the fact that the other heroes from their ancient names were not yet awakened. Perhaps Capitano wants to overrule MAVUIKA and become the Pyro Archon himself and save Natlan his way. Since we knew that MAVUIKA is reincarnated 500 years ago, I would like to think that perhaps Capitano was exiled from the Natlan tribe, possibly Masters of the Night Wind, especially that he already knew everything about the ley lines and it meant nothing to him. It's possible that just like MAVUIKA, he might be someone from 500 years ago. Of course, I could be wrong, but at the same time, it's not completely far-fetched either since during the fight, Capitano emits a Night Soul's blessing, which is something that is unique to people of Natlan because they enhance their power by connecting themselves to the way up of their tribe and ley lines, which aligns with him knowing the secrets of ley lines already. Since Bloodstained Knight is from Mondstadt, I think that crosses out the possibility. But the possibility of him being the Bloodstained Knight still has a chance, albeit I don't really hold this theory that much anymore. There's a chance that his ancient name was forged by someone. MAVUIKA told us at the end of the Archon quest that ancient names can be forged. It's just that they never did it with outsiders before. We know that ancient names were bestowed by the way up of each tribe, and since Bloodstained Knight is affiliated with the Abyss, perhaps since the Night Kingdom's corruption, he was able to forge his ancient name, and someone from the Abyss was able to forge him his name. Yes, I know that the Fatui and the Abyss are not really that friendly towards each other, but at the end of the day, Bloodstained Knight will do anything to do what is righteous to him, so the possibility is still there. As for him being a Dragon Sovereign, I don't think of him being sovereign but perhaps a Saurian. In my previous video, I speculate that Ictomisaurus could be a Saurian from Masters of the Night Wind, because of it being able to fly and align with the Masters of the Night Wind's logo, that being a bat. we are shown that Capitano has the ability to fly, so perhaps these scales were a part of him still being a Saurian turned human. His power is from him being Ictomisaurus, but again, this theory to me is way too copious because Kachina and Mualani have the same power of their respective Saurians. Next is the heroes, which I want to theorize. So far, there's Shilonen, Mualani, Kinich, and Iansan as the heroes of the respective tribes. But what about the other two? Honestly, I can't be sure myself since the information given is still too little, but I have few possibilities. Chaska is of course the very first person I can think of to be the next hero, because she was shown in the Ignition trailer as someone who seems to be extremely important in the future Archon quest. Not only that, she is shown in this type of frame alongside other known heroes. Her character is described as the Peacekeeper, which is someone who can resolve any conflicts with no problem. We don't know her ancient name just yet, and perhaps we will see her know the meaning of her name in the next Archon quest. The second possibility is Ifa, a character mentioned by Mualani and Kachina when we ask about him. Ifa is a Fed in Natlan, and I do believe he is the same tribe as Chaska, since he has a very deep understanding of Saurians and animals and possibly have lost his Saurian companions before. I believe his vision could either be animal or dendro, but let's assume it's animal for now because of him being affiliated with Flower Feather clan if my theory is correct. There are some strange things mentioned by Kachina because she said Ifa can fly, and there are two possibilities. Either Ifa is the person who can fly, or he is assisted by a Saurian. Either way, he could be one of the ancient name bearers who is assigned by his predecessor to save Natlan, since he seems to be one of the only characters who have closer relationships to Saurians. Next is Citlali, because just like Chaska, she is given the same frame like other heroes in the Ignition teaser. Her ability to read the stars gave me a strong thought that she could be a great strategist for the heroes. I actually have a very cracked theory about Citlali. Mualani told us that Citlali is a fortune teller and her predictions are always very accurate. So, I would like to propose that Citlali, just like Barbalot and Featherfall is a visionary. It would make sense because she is the elder of her tribe, and Masters of the Night Wind seems to be more closely related to the stars than any other tribes, especially that they have Dreamcatcher symbolism around them and their logo is a bat. Speaking of Masters of the Night Wind, Oraron could also be the hero of Natlan. I know, that sounds strange because he is a traitor, but hear me out. This could even be Citlali's plan from the very beginning. Oraron to me seems to not only have the ability to spread mists to camouflage himself, but also to hear sounds. This is proven because Capitano did ask him if he could hear something from here. And Oraron's design as a bat makes a lot of sense because bats have a very sharp sense of hearing. I did mention in my last video that Ictomisaurus could have a power to camouflage, or perhaps this is one of Oraron's power. I wouldn't be surprised that Oraron is a double spy, especially that there's no way Citlali doesn't know any of this, given to her being able to read fortunes and possibly see the future. While this could be unlikely, the possibility is there. Now there's a very interesting thing that MAVUIKA told us. She refers to the original Pyro Archon as he, and this has been teased to us all the way back from version 1.0. Wait, how is that even possible? The Ignition teaser clearly showed us that MAVUIKA is the Archon, and the Travail refers to the Pyro Archon as she. Even in the manga, Fenty refers to Vanessa's Archon as Murata, Lady of Fire. Well, that's the thing. There's a very high possibility that the Archon Fenty mentioned is one of the many Archons that came after the first Pyro Archon. And so far, all of the Pyro Archons according to MAVUIKA are humans, including herself and the first Pyro Archon. This is already teased to us all the way from version 1.0, and it's teased to us in Achnidus Agate Gemstone. You know, the item that you use to ascend your characters? Yeah, that. In it, it states, a pilgrimage for a wish, a battle to earn a name, burned to cinders for a dream. If the intention still remains, a shift blanks truth he has. I have some speculation, but I can't help but think the first Pyro Archon is none other than Xbalanque. You see, in the mythology of twin Mayan heroes, his brother Hunahpu was ascended as a moon, while Xbalanque was ascended as the sun. So, I believe that the first Pyro Archon is none other than Xbalanque, and if my theory from my last video still stand, perhaps this is also one of MAVUIKA's plan. MAVUIKA is not trying to revive herself, but perhaps revive the first Pyro Archon himself, Xbalanque. Finally, this is to me the craziest and the most possible out of all theories I made in this video. There might be multiple celestial nails in Natlan. Of course, we already know that there is a celestial nail in the Night Kingdom, and we do see the nail when we do the Night Trials. However, do you know that the game actually showed us another celestial nail? It's actually very easy to me, trust me, even I do, but it was actually shown to us in the Archon quest. During our adventure in the Night Kingdom, we see a celestial nail right above us, and it's actually shown to us as well in the cutscene when MAVUIKA saved us. Now to me, this makes a lot of sense if there's multiple celestial nails in Natlan, especially that the nation has suffered from the abyss the most than other nations. Celestial nail is said to fall from Celestia in order to eradicate the abyss and forbidden knowledge. Knowing that there's multiple nails in Natlan, it's very possible that Natlan's influence from the abyss has reached a level that is way above what other nations have faced. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised how crazy the upcoming war that we will have to face in the Archon quest is. If there's multiple of them and the abyss almost successfully dominate the Night Kingdom, then does that mean Celestia has grown weaker, or perhaps will this relate to the fake sky of Natlan? I have a crack theory that Natlan is going to be the very first nation that will face terrible disaster of Teyvat's fake sky. Especially that we surprisingly have a new billet series in the game, and that is Borderland Billet. Natlan and assuming listeners Naya are seemingly the borderlands of Teyvat, so it makes sense to me why Natlan has it worse than other nations. Because they are the closest nation to the abyss. We've seen how Celestial Nail has successfully eradicated the abyss with the Celestial Nail. While it's not complete, the results were there, and the attempt has made a huge impact on the surrounding area. But they have to put multiple Celestial Nails in Natlan, more specifically the Night Kingdom. Does that mean Natlan's problem has gone so bad to the point Celestia has to step in? Does this mean that Natlan's destruction is going to be a greater calamity than we have ever seen from other nations? To answer that question, we will have to wait until the next update. Not gonna lie, I am so happy that I made this video. Of course, not only were some of my theories were proven correct, but at the same time, I got some very juicy lore tidbits for me to share and more tinfoil ideas for me to geek about. I am excited to do the world quest and of course, geek along with you guys. Hopefully, you enjoyed this video. If you liked the video, please consider giving it a like and comment so the channel can be noticed by the algorithm. Which theories do you like the most? What is your favorite part in the Archon quest? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Ciao, mata!